Hi, it's Iona here, Wren House Studio, and this is our week 9 of Emerge and See in our current series of It's About Time to Create Progress Without Pressure. I'm so glad that you're here. It's so lovely to be able to come together and just consider the idea of what it means to be creative when we let ourselves create progress without pressure. When we allow ourselves to follow the natural circadian feminine rhythm of the year. You know, it starts with a daily rhythm. It's the circle of an individual day. And here at in our work of creating progress without pressure, we extend the day, even if it's only for 15 minutes each day, placing our attention on working from home. We allow the work to become cumulative. Right? And so the first thing we did was our 8-day challenge, where we allowed ourselves to really begin to connect with the idea of the rhythm of a day. And then we broadened that out a little bit into tools for change, and we allowed ourselves to consider the idea of a circadian month. Now, a circadian day is something that we can track quite easily. And so if we put 30 circadian days together, we begin to really recognize a rhythm of our own. So that was tools for change. Then we moved into It's About Time to Create Progress Without Pressure with Emerge and See from the spring equinox over to now. And in these 9 weeks, out of the 12 weeks of the spring quarter, we're investing the 9 weeks together in really recognizing how powerful it is and how lovely it is, and what a gentle nobility there is to placing this time period on the opportunity to get to know the me, the true me, the deep me, all the me's that I've ever been throughout time. But as we mentioned last week, we can't just stay with the me, because then it gets bogged down and we become stalled. We don't know what to do next. So we're getting to this wonderful bridging point now as we approach the summer solstice. As we approach the summer solstice, we're beginning to recognize that this is really a natural time every year to deeply engage, even if only for 15 minutes a day, deeply engage in what does it actually mean to be me now, to invest in this is who I am, working from home, never alone, because there's always all the me's that I've ever been throughout time. And there's always the energy of the ancestors and the elements. And there's always the quality of the archetypes, the alchemical quality to be able to shape-shift situations and circumstances. So we remind ourselves that we dream ourselves into the spring quadrant by engaging the mystery, or what we call my story, during the winter quadrant between winter solstice and spring equinox. And it's during that time where we are given the opportunity through natural circadian feminine time to deeply root into the depth of our ability to be. And as we step into the spring, we are being the me. We begin to beam into the capacity to express our experience in a greater way this year than we were able to do last year, because we've had more experience. There's more me this year than there was last year. So as we come closer now to the summer solstice, it's just a mere 3 weeks away, we are aware that we're able to see a bigger picture, to be more expansive, to consider the quality of air, to breathe in, to calm down, and to recognize that even though not a single one of us knows where we're going, every one of us recognizes that we are on our way to creating our next contribution. So we kind of bracket that with the with the idea of bringing into the spring quadrant a dream vision, an idea, an inspiration, a program, a project, a relationship, a challenge, an opportunity, and we begin to set our intention, which is where the covenant comes in. We really make a commitment. And we make a commitment, and it's got 8 steps and stages that will take us through all of the different ways in which we get to recognize that our dream vision inspires us to do research. Our research ignites action. Our action takes us to another level of creative engagement, uplifts it. That creative engagement, coupled with the action and the research and the vision and the dream, brings us to a point of pause. Press the pause button where we reflect. As we reflect, we begin to see what we would like to let go of and let drop away, and what has actually worked with us, for us in our commitment, and we embrace it. We give it a wonderful, wonderful container to live in as we move forward. And from our reflections, we see what it is we have to share. And we begin to consider the platform, the opportunities, the magnetic attraction that we carry for how we're going to share what our dream vision has brought us to at this point. And so then we share. And once we share, we get to a place where we feel like I've grown this portion of my dream vision to a place of grateful gratitude. Nothing is ever complete. We're always incomplete. And yet, in natural circadian feminine time, we get to that point in the north direction where we stand underneath our North Star, our destiny, and we go, for now, I've brought my dream vision as far as I can, and I stand in grateful gratitude. Now, we understand that this happens every day in the circadian day. This happens at midnight. It's just a natural point in the 24-hour circle to bring ourselves to completion. We might be in our dream time, and that's okay, because our whole body is rejuvenating and resting, preparing us for the dream vision of the new day. On a monthly pattern, we find this point of reflection and then completion taking place from the full moon up to the third quarter moon, the last quarter moon. And in our yearly calendar, we find that this third quarter point, this thank you, grateful gratitude point, comes at the winter solstice. So that would be the point in the year when we recognize that since spring equinox, we've brought our dream vision as far as we can, and we're really going to allow ourselves to begin to really settle into rest, rejuvenation, recreation, and deeply rooting into the being part of ourselves, the yin part. So every week we have our prompt. Last week we reminded ourselves to come through the east gate. Yeah, let me get it right here. From the east gate over, recognizing that we've now engaged clarity of our dream vision, inspiration, idea, We've gained clarity as much as we can for right now. But in 15-minute increments each day, we might find, ooh, there's another piece of clarity. Oh, and that's leading me to another piece of wisdom. Oh, and now through the month of June, we're focusing on the radiant brilliance that comes as a result of allowing these first 2 focus points to have taken place. We're always working from home, and we move out into the world and take our steps back into the world, day by day, moon month by moon month, quarter by quarter. Now we want to stretch our wings, so to speak, and remember that we're on a year-long journey. And we're just in the first quarter of this new natural circadian feminine year. And so this week we want to get a bigger picture. Remember June, Brilliance, air element, is about expansion. It's about getting an eagle's view of things. When you look at Google, and if you put into the Google search engine, eagle cam or eagle with a camera on its back, I don't know what you'd put in, but you would figure that out. You want to look at an eagle that has been fitted with a camera in between its wings so that it can be observed as it's actually flying and being its eagle self. And so we can get some really beautiful images of how expansive the energy of brilliant, radiant June air element can be for each of us. The air is everywhere, and we want to fill ourselves to capacity and to overflowing. We want to over receive in the month of June with the idea of brilliance and being in the diamond lane of our own life and just really shining like a star, our own destiny star. We're doing creative work. It's make believe. That's what creatives do. That's what artists, composers, dancers, potters, labyrinth dancers, anybody who's doing hand to paper, composing, writing, is enriching the world through the evolutionary art of healing ourselves as we move our energy like the air moves, like the air flows. So our prompt for this week, our 9th week, is to create a larger picture of our circadian feminine year. And so our prompt looks something like this. And I have a big image of it behind us that we'll look at in just a moment also. But for our flashcard this week, what we want to do is create a full circle on our 5x7 card. And we want to remind ourselves that we're in the masculine, full sun, solar energy point of the year, both in spring and in summer. Masculine, proactive, make it happen, do it today and now, and really get engaged, part of our walk. And so spring begins the kind of the amping up of our energy. And of course we can see this in our gardens and in the nests and walking in the woods. We can see everything is burgeoning, everything is growing. And if we subscribe to live cams of different animals birthing and raising their young, we can really engage in what this means in the bigger world. It's not just all about us, right? It's about us being part of the bigger world and finding our appropriate natural circadian feminine rhythm within the flow of the bigger world. So we want to be aware that we're in the me cycle right now. We've been in the me quadrant and we're there for the next 3 weeks, and then we move into the we quadrant. But we want to kind of piggyback to where we're going when we get done with the masculine side of the wheel. So we want to kind of do a little diagonal polarity, the tension between the masculine spring and the feminine fall season, from fall equinox up to winter solstice. And so we see that we have me, all the me's that I've ever been throughout time, as our alchemical code for springtime, but we're moving through the we cycle then and coming up into the life cycle of fall. And we want to really understand where we're heading, that we want to be aware of the tension of me and life. If we don't understand that me is not just little me trying to make my way through the world and make things happen, but it's the bigger me. It's all the me's that I've ever been throughout time. And all the me's that I've ever been throughout time has a story. And so we're always working our way around the wheel. And of course, our last quadrant of the natural circadian feminine year is to come around to the winter quadrant, where we sink deep into the mystery of my story. But today we want to be thinking about, making room for, feeling into, and being aware of. The idea that we're not just kind of lumping along, not knowing where we're going. In fact, we do not know what's coming to meet us anywhere along the road of the natural circadian feminine year. But if we are in alignment with the energetic field, then we're ready for whatever comes to meet us. Well, readier, maybe never exactly ready, when something jumps out of the bushes to surprise us in a good way or in a challenging way. We have to take 10 deep breaths. We have to step back. We have to become the observer in our own life. So this week we're becoming the observer of the full circle of the year with a particular focus on me and life and the relationship that we're forming with me moving into we, moving up to greet life. This is Iona at Wren House Studio. This is our 9th week of It's About Time to Create Progress Without Pressure with Emerge and See. I invite you to create your flashcard and to create some notes in your breathing book about where are you going in the full circle of the year, in your mind, in your imagination, with your dream vision. What's the bigger picture? This is the Brilliance cycle. How can you radiate your energy out to meet life as it's going to come to meet you when you get to October, November, and December? Just imagining it, just make-believing it, just inspiring yourself to, for 15 minutes a day, sort of look in the direction of where am I choosing to go and what would I like to have come of this time and what is this time for? I look forward to seeing you on the call tomorrow evening. We'll do some wrapping up, of course. I look forward to you being live on the line and bringing your voice with you. We're a shy group, but we're a great group. And so if you can, bring your voice and share it with us on our last call for right now. I'll also be introducing us to what's coming up next. And I so look forward to sharing our next segment of It's About Time to Create Progress Without Pressure. Don't you think? I'll see you soon. Much love.